you said sweets. Wait, where'd she go? Oh, hi, I'm Ella. Where's Gwen?
Today we are making my great-grandmother's recipe for angel food cake. This recipe has been handed down for generations in our family, and every generation has added their own new twists. Angel food cake is a very light, airy cake made mostly of whipped egg whites. It's also a very versatile cake that you can finish with frosting and a piped message, or sliced with whipped cream and berries. But no matter what you do, it's always a great treat. I hope you like it. Now let's get on with the video. The first step to this recipe is to sift together 1 cup flour and 1.5 cups powdered sugar into a medium bowl. Sifting them together is a very important part of the process. It not only gets the clumps out of the flour, but it also combines the 2 dry ingredients so that you won't have to fold the mixture as much later. Next, you need to separate 12 eggs, the main ingredient to the cake. I would suggest separating 3 or 4 eggs at a time in a separate bowl so that if you break a yolk, you don't need to start the whole process over again. You can simply replace those 3 or 4 eggs. If you do break a yolk, you need to make sure that none of the yolk gets mixed in with the rest of the whites, because if it does, your cake will not rise correctly in the oven. Now, before you whip the egg whites, you'll need to add 1.5 teaspoons cream of tartar, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. Remember, a little bit of extra vanilla never hurt anybody, but be careful not to add too much. After adding these, you will mix until soft peaks begin to form. I've found that if you beat them on a medium speed instead of a high speed, the cake ends up being a little more airy and soft. It also rises better. But be very careful not to overwhip the eggs. Once your egg whites hold soft peaks, you can begin adding 1 cup of sugar in a little bit at a time. I usually go at a constant rate using a tablespoon to make sure I don't add it too quickly, or you can slowly pour in about 1/4 cup at a time. It's up to you. Once all of your sugar has been added, you now need to whip your egg whites until they hold stiff peaks. Be careful not to overwhip them though, or else they will start to deflate and your cake will be a little more dense. Once your egg white mixture holds stiff peaks, you can now begin to add your flour mixture you made at the beginning. You'll add this 1/3 at a time, slowly and carefully folding it into the egg white mixture. Be careful not to fold this too much though, or else it will become more dense than it should be. Once you've carefully folded in your flour mixture, you now can spoon your batter into your bundt pan. I'm using a non-stick pan with a removable base so that I can easily take the cake out of the pan, but any bundt pan will work. Once you spoon the mixture into the bundt pan, you will put it in the oven that has been preheated to 350 degrees. It'll bake for 30 minutes or until light brown and cooked all the way through.
Okay, so now it's time to take the angel food cake out of the oven. The thing about angel food cakes is they actually have to cool it upside down. How I do it is we have a bottle that fits right in the middle of our bundt pan, and we always just flip it over and cool it on that. You can also put it on a cooling rack upside down if your pan is not 2 pieces. Ours is 2 pieces, so we have to use the bottle method. But let's pull it out and I'll show you how to do it. So the cake should be pretty brown on top. So you'll set it down, and you want to do this as quick as possible. Put the bottle right in the middle. Oh, this part's so hard. And then you just have to flip it. And then you have to let it sit and cool like this upside down, or else the cake will fall almost completely down. It will be super dense and very unpleasant to eat.
Here's what my cake looked like after taking it out of a pan. I really hope you guys enjoy this recipe because it's one of my all-time favorites. I make it all the time, and considering it's almost completely egg whites, it's fairly healthy for a cake. I really hope you guys love this recipe as much as I do, and I'll see you next time on Sid Sweets.